Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
Imagine America many decades from now. Its strong industries may have disappeared. The services people depend on, like healthcare or shops, might struggle greatly. Hospitals could be overwhelmed, not by too many sick people, but by too few doctors and nurses. The once mighty American military, known around the world, could become surprisingly weak, unable to find enough young people to join. In terms of technology, culture, and money, the great power that shaped a century of global events might just be running very low on energy and people. All these serious problems trace back to one growing issue. It is a ticking time bomb for the nation, the falling birth rate. What truly happens when a nation simply runs out of people? Many important experts are now giving warnings. They say that if fewer and fewer babies are born, the future could be much worse than most people think. Some call this a demographic apocalypse. This dramatic term means a time when civilization as we know it cannot work anymore. It means a country cannot keep its schools open, its roads fixed, or its elderly cared for. Today, young people are often choosing not to have children. Many are not even forming families. If this trend continues, the United States will have far fewer young workers in the years ahead. There will be fewer people to buy goods and services, fewer people to pay taxes, and fewer people to fill important roles in society. A nation needs new generations to stay alive, grow, and remain strong. Without enough new babies, America faces a very difficult and empty future. This book will explore this big problem and what it truly means for the United States. 2. Not enough babies. Around the world, fewer babies are being born. This is a big change. Experts now worry about too few people, not too many. Studies show that by the year 2050, most countries will not have enough births to keep their population stable. By 2100, almost all nations will have this problem. This is a global trend that worries many. Once, people worried about too many people, but now the opposite problem makes experts worried about society's future. In the United States, the number of new babies is also very low. In 2023, the U.S. National Center for Health Statistics reported the lowest number of births in over 40 years. This is the lowest birth rate ever recorded for the country, at just 54.5 births for every 1,000 women. This means fewer young people are growing up in America, a number that has fallen steadily for a long time. Looking back, after World War II, America had a baby boom. Many children were born then, with a high of 122.9 births per 1,000 women in 1957. But after that, the birth rate started to fall. There was a big drop during the Great Recession from 2008 to 2013. Many people felt unsure about the future, so they had fewer children. Later, the global pandemic in 2020 caused another drop in births. The average number of children a woman has, called the total fertility rate, was 3.8 after the war. Now it is only 1.6, which is much lower than what is needed for a stable population. Not all U.S. states are feeling this change in the same way. Some states have seen a much larger drop in birth rates. For example, from 2005 to 2022, Utah, Arizona, and Delaware had big drops of over 30%. But in other states like Kentucky, North Dakota, and Louisiana, the birth rates stayed more stable, with only small declines. These differences mean that each state might face different problems as fewer babies are born. Some areas could struggle to keep their economy strong, leading to people moving away. 3. Why people don't want children. Why do people choose not to have children today? There are many important reasons for this big change. One main reason is money. After events like the Great Recession and the global pandemic, many people feel less sure about the future. They worry if they can support a family and give children a good life. This lack of trust in the future makes people hesitate to bring new lives into the world. It costs a lot to live, and this makes having children seem very hard. The price of homes has gone up much faster than people's paychecks. For example, since 2001, housing costs and other bills have risen 10 times faster than what people earn. This means that a lot of people spend a huge part of their income, sometimes more than half, just on rent and utilities. This situation makes it very difficult to save money for a down payment on a house or for a family's needs. Many young people also carry large student loan debts, which makes their financial situation even harder. They often feel that buying a home is just a dream, not something they can actually do. If you cannot even get started with a home, why would you think about having children? Many people also do not have extra money for unexpected problems, which adds to their daily worries. Social changes also play a big part. In the 1960s and 1970s, the women's rights movement, known as feminism, became stronger. This movement helped women have more choices in their lives beyond just having a family. At the same time, birth control became easier to get, and abortions were more available. These changes gave women more control over their bodies and their decisions about when and if they wanted to have children. This led to fewer children being born per woman. Newer generations also have different life goals and worries. Millennials and Generation Z often want to focus on their education, careers, and personal adventures. They value freedom and traveling to new places. For them, having a family might not be the first or most important thing on their minds. Many in Generation Z have lived through several big economic problems. They feel a lot of uncertainty and sometimes sadness about the world. This feeling of not knowing what the future holds makes many people choose not to have children or to wait much longer before deciding. They want to feel stable and safe before taking on the big responsibility of raising a family. 4. A sad generation. Young people today, especially Generation Z, often feel a deep sense of hopelessness. They have grown up seeing big economic problems. Buying a home, once a common dream, now feels impossible for many. This feeling of great uncertainty makes many young people feel cynical about their future. This sadness has led to a worrying rise in deaths of despair. These are deaths from things like self-harm, drug overdoses, or heavy alcohol use. In the past, about 15 out of 100,000 Americans died this way. By the year 2000, this number grew to almost 23. But since 2017, it has jumped to over 45 people out of 100,000. This shows a big problem in society, which affects how people think about starting families. Money troubles also add to this sadness. Many people work full-time but still cannot afford a home. For some, almost all their money goes to just surviving. Even a small, unexpected bill can cause big problems. Many Americans cannot pay a $400 emergency cost. Most live paycheck to paycheck with no savings. This makes bringing children into such a world seem very hard. Another surprising thing is that young people are having less sex and fewer romantic relationships. For example, in 2011, 22% of young adults in California said they had no sexual partners in the last year. By 2021, this number was 38%. This is a big change. Some believe it is due to past events that harmed social skills. Others think people look inward more, focusing on online images instead of real-life connections. This also means fewer young couples plan to have children. 5. Getting old and feeling alone. America is getting older. 100 years ago, only about 1 in 20 Americans was an old person. 50 years later, this number doubled. By 2020, 1 in 6 Americans was over 65 years old. Experts believe that the 58 million people aged 65 and older today will become 82 million by 2050. This is a big increase, nearly 50%. It means that about 23% of all Americans will be 65 or older in the future. This aging population creates many problems. The healthcare system will be under great stress. There will be fewer young people to work as nurses and doctors. Also, with fewer working people paying taxes, there will be less money for hospitals and medical care. Many older people will need more help because people are living longer. Also, obesity rates have grown, meaning more people will suffer from sicknesses like heart disease and diabetes. This will mean even more demand for healthcare services in the future. Many older Americans are now working longer. In 2022, about 1/4 of men and 15% of women over 65 were still working. By 2032, these numbers will grow. While some older people like to work, many do it because they need the money. They cannot afford to stop working and retire. This is a big change from the past. When current young generations like Gen Z get old, they might also need to work longer. They will likely not have children to help care for them. Also, with fewer tax dollars, the government might not be able to offer much help. Another sad problem for older people is loneliness. This feeling is already common among seniors. In 2022, 16 million Americans aged 65 and older lived alone. This is 3 times more than in the 1960s. Today, about 28% of U.S. seniors live by themselves. This number will grow in the future. Studies show that American seniors feel lonely more often than old people in many other countries, like in Asia and Africa, where families often live together. This means that as more people get old and live alone, loneliness will become a very big social problem. 6. A country with less money. A country needs people to make money. When the population gets smaller because fewer babies are born, the country starts to have money problems. This is because there are fewer workers. With fewer people working, the government collects less money from taxes. People pay taxes on their income, on things they buy, and on their homes. This tax money helps the government pay for important things. For example, states need tax money to run schools and pay teachers. They also need funds for hospitals, doctors, and to fix roads and bridges. When there is less tax money, states struggle to pay for these essential services. This can mean schools have less money, hospitals face difficulties, and public works do not get done. Businesses also feel the change. With fewer young people, companies find it hard to hire enough workers. There are also fewer new businesses starting. This leads to less economic activity and less spending by people. Many states rely heavily on sales taxes. If people spend less, states collect less money. Some states, like Florida, Texas, and Washington, get most of their income from sales taxes, making them very vulnerable to population decline. The problem is already visible in some areas, especially rural towns. When a town has fewer people, local businesses might close. Hospitals and schools could shut down because there are not enough residents or staff. When this happens, people often move away to find jobs and better services. This creates a cycle where more people leave and the town shrinks further. States like West Virginia, Mississippi, Illinois, Maine, Pennsylvania, and Louisiana are already seeing their populations decline. People are moving out, causing economic issues. In the future, this could lead to ghost towns. These are places with empty homes and closed businesses, all due to a lack of residents. This will likely cause a big wave of people moving within the U.S., with many going to places where jobs and opportunities still exist. This mass internal migration will change the country's landscape and create new challenges. 7. America is not as strong. America's strength in the world might not be as great in the future as it once was. This change comes because the number of young people in the country is falling. A nation's power depends on many things, and having enough people is very important. One big problem is with the military. With fewer young people, it is harder for the Army, Air Force, Marines, and Navy to find enough new soldiers. In recent years, these parts of the military have not met their goals for new recruits. Young people today are less interested in joining the military. They also see what war looks like through technology, which can be very unpleasant. If there are fewer young people, it raises a serious question. Who will serve in the military if the country needs to fight a war? A weaker military can make America more vulnerable. It can also make the country less important in the world. Military power helps America protect its trade, gather intelligence, and keep its allies strong. It also helps control other countries that might act dangerously. If America's military is not strong, its global friendships could break, and nations that are rivals might become more confident and challenge the United States. A strong military underwrites economic dominance and keeps rivals in check. With less tax money and fewer people, the military will struggle to stay strong and modern. America also has soft power. This means its culture, like movies, music, art, and technology, influences many other countries. Hollywood films and American music are known around the world. The English language is also very important globally. However, this could change. Other nations, especially in Asia, are growing in influence. Their movies or music might become more popular. In 2021, the United States fell from first to sixth place in an important list that measures this soft power. If America becomes a country with mostly older people, its cultural ideas might not be as strong or reach as far across the globe. The technology sector, which has been a strong part of the U.S. economy, also needs new talent to keep growing. Studies show that many new tech companies and important tech jobs in the U.S. are started or filled by immigrants. If the population shrinks and if it becomes harder to attract the best skilled people from other countries, America's lead in technology could also lessen. This talent might go to other places. All these factors together mean that America's power and influence in the world could become less strong over time. 8. The world in the future. The future of our world and America is not set. We can look for different solutions to the problem of a shrinking population. One important idea is immigration. America has always been good at bringing in talented people from other countries. These new people can help the economy and fill jobs. They also bring new ideas and energy. Historically, the United States, like parts of Europe, has welcomed people from different places. For example, many skilled people in technology in the U.S. are from India. In the past, immigrants helped build industries and financial centers in other countries too. In America, people can often become part of the country by living and working here. However, it is not always easy. Bringing people from different cultures together needs careful planning and understanding from everyone. There can be some problems with integration, but with thought, we can make it work. Immigration may not be a complete solution, but it is a vital part. Some people think that artificial intelligence, or AI, can solve everything. AI will certainly change many things. It can help with jobs like driving cars, managing things, and even helping doctors with medical tasks. It can make our lives easier and many tasks more efficient. AI might even help us fight wars with machines and protect the environment. It is expected to replace many jobs, perhaps even a large number of them in the future. But AI cannot do everything that humans do. It cannot care for sick people in a hospital. It cannot build houses with its own hands. AI does not go to restaurants, buy things, or enjoy live music or comedy shows. We need people for many parts of life that make us happy and safe. AI can make a lot of goods, but who will buy them if there are not enough people with money? Also, too much technology can make people feel alone. Experts call this a loneliness epidemic. Studies show that many Americans already feel lonely and have less meaningful talks with others. This isolation can cause both mind and body problems. Perhaps the real solution is not just about technology or new people, but about rediscovering what truly matters. We might need to remember the importance of community, family, and friendships. A future where having children is seen as important for our personal lives and for the country. Where communities are strong and people have good relationships. This change could be good for people and for the economy too. It will not be easy, and there will be challenges, especially with integrating new people while keeping our identity. Can we change this path? Or is a population collapse going to happen? What do you think is the most important thing to fix for the future?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.